Good morning, this is Josh here at Mass Gun Works. It's been a while since I've done a video, and I just wanted to take a minute and talk to you guys about something interesting that came across a workbench. I got a customer that brought me a really nice looking Remington 700. It's chambered in 22-250. Just briefly, for those of you who don't know a whole lot about 22-250, this is a 308 case that has a 22 caliber bullet, as I drop all of them, shoved in it. Okay, it's been neck down. Very fast, very good varmint cartridge. Some of the states where you're allowed to hunt with 22 caliber for deer, this would be a very, very effective deer cartridge as well. Like I said, it's a super fast, super accurate cartridge. But anyway, the issue he was having was it wasn't wanting to extract the cartridge. So when you would go to open the bolt, it opened kind of hard, and then you would have to literally take a hammer and tap the bolt handle to get the bolt to even move to the rear. I have a spent casing here, and I've removed the firing pin. Okay, so this weapon's safe, and I've also taken out the extractor. I'm sorry, I've taken out the ejector because I didn't want that to interfere with anything. So I'm going to first take a new live round, and one of the things that I was noticing when you would go to load this, put the cartridge into the chamber, you could hear a loud click, like there were two metal surfaces that were hitting together. I'm trying to get this to load properly, and you may not be able to hear it now because I've done some work, but we're going to close the bolt. And all. Yeah, there. And it opens a little hard, okay? But you hear that click was a lot more pronounced. And once you got the cartridge in, it was nearly impossible to just pull it. We're going to take a spent fired casing, and any irregularities that you have with a factory casing are going to be much more pronounced once you've fired that casing, because it expands and forms to the chamber. Okay, so when I go to close this, I should be able to push it closed pretty easily with one finger, right? And I can get about to there. There's a lot of resistance. You heard that snap, okay? It shouldn't be doing that. And I've got this to the point that it will function. It's a little snug, but it'll function, okay? So I'll show you what we came up with, and to do that, I'm going to show you how I did it, just in case you ever experience this too. So one of the things that I like to do when I have a weapon like this that is having some problems with potential interference of parts is I'll take a marker and I will color the part that's having the problem. So in this case, it was the bolt. And with this, the area that I suspected was the bolt nose coming in contact with the chamber recess. So in one of my other videos, this is an aluminum dummy barrel that I made for chambering a 308 cartridge. I machined all the features on it that you would have on a Remington 700 barrel. So you got your shoulder, you got your threads, and you've got your chamber, and then the recessed area that the bolt nose fits in. Okay, so if the bolt in the barrel are made properly, everything should slip into each other in a line just great. What happened, and again I'll show you how I deduce this, but what happened is, and this is going to be a little extreme, so don't act like, you know, I'm showing you everything exactly as it was. But what happened was the bolt was tipped down and misaligning with the chamber as you would feed the cartridge in, and it was hitting the bottom right in there, in that lip. It doesn't do it when there's no cartridge on the bolt face, because when you put this cartridge on here, what it does is it also acts as a guide pin and pulls the bolt into some kind of alignment. Okay, so without the cartridge there, it just, you know, slips right in just fine. When you put the cartridge on, now you have excuse me, you essentially have a holder for a guide pin, and you're trying to put that guide pin into a hole with the holder, so everything's got to line up just right, because this is precision fit, right? So when that cartridge goes into that chamber, it pushes the bolt out of alignment, and it's hitting. Okay. The other thing I noticed, when they cut the chamber, it's typical to take and chamfer this edge right here. Not leave it sharp, but chamfer it. And then it's typical to also chamfer the bolt nose. That way that stuff, if there is a little bit of a misalignment, it can still slide together, right? Okay. So what I did, I took marker and I colored the bolt nose all the way around. And what's going to happen is anywhere that there's contact or rubbing, it will rub this marker off, and that creates a high spot. And I had to go in with a file and just dress down those high spots. Once I got that dressed down, this rifle began to function properly. So this one is, I'm guessing it was made like 1975. So it's an older, sorry, about to say Winchester. It's an older Remington. You know, and there may have been some quality control issues, and this happens with every manufacturer. Something will make it through quality control that shouldn't have, creates a problem. That's why we have recalls, okay? Nobody's perfect. But I'm gonna send this home. If I can get it lined up just so. There we go. We're gonna close it and open it a few times. And see, a little tough to open, but it opens. Beforehand, I would have had to get out a rubber mallet and tap that handle. Okay. And you can see right there. See how it's black all the way around where I colored with the marker? And then right there we got some rubbing. Okay, that's where it is contacting this recess in the barrel, and it's causing friction, and it won't let it rotate properly. This bolt nose is a certain diameter, in this recess is supposed to be fairly tightly fitting to where you can't like put it in there and wiggle it around, but there's a few thousandths of clearance to allow it to rotate without a lot of interference. So what's happened, like I said, is when they built this, they just didn't take the time to properly fit the parts together. So anyway, it was just something interesting. It's something I haven't run into before. There was a gunsmith that worked on this rifle beforehand and wasn't able to completely fix the problem. And he's somebody that I've done work with in the past. So I talked with him, and we both kind of felt like maybe it was an issue with the chamber not being proper. So I did end up reaming this chamber out just a little bit to see if that was the problem. It's still within tolerance, but I'm glad that I found out that that wasn't the problem, because we could have messed this guy's barrel up if we would have continued to go down that rabbit hole and ream it out. So anyway, that was the fun one for the week. So if you have any questions, you have any comments, if you've run across this in the past, throw it up there. You know, let's have a conversation about it. Sorry I haven't put out a video in a while. Just with the holidays, it's been crazy, and I've had a lot of family stuff I've had to attend to, and I appreciate you all being patient and continuing to send me messages, and you know, just let me know that you enjoy seeing my videos, and you miss seeing my pretty face on YouTube. So wish you all the best. Hope you all had a good Christmas, and wish you a happy new year, and we'll see you on the next one.